College scam.
Today I had a realization that I bought into the lie of college, get a good job, get a degree, you'll go far. And today I realized that I am a slave.
Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. You can support uncensored conversations via Cash App or buying your girl a coffee. Hey y'all, I just wanted to pop in here and talk a little bit about this whole idea of go to college and the world will be your oyster. That is a whole lie. That is one of the biggest scams that has ever been perpetrated on the American people, probably the people abroad, but specifically if we're talking about in America. We are told from a very young age that college is the way, that the only way to be a viable adult, the only way to be a productive adult, the only way to make something of yourself would be to go to college, get an education, and then from there, get a good job. Here's the crazy part. You spend all this money going into debt at a very young age, because usually people start college 18, 19 years old. You go into all this debt to get this degree, only for an entry-level job to pay you what, $24,000 a year? That's not even covering your basic necessities. And especially with inflation and shrinkflation, everybody having their hands in our pockets, and depending on what state you're in, they want to tax any unrealized gains, meaning money you don't have, tax you on the money you make, tax you on the money you spend. Everything is getting taxed. And then on top of that, you have all these arbitrary fees for everything. Oh, we have a processing fee. We have a handling fee. We have a this fee. We have a that fee. Everybody has their hand in our pocket. So you're getting out of college with an entry-level job that's paying you $24,000 a year, $40,000 if you're lucky, and you can barely scrape the surface of paying off your student loans. This is a scam. It's a scam to get everyone to be indentured servants.
I got good grades all through school because I dreamed of college. I thought, I'll go to college, I'll get a good job, and it'll change the course of my life. I'll have everything I need, I'll make money. Because I grew up with nothing. And probably like most of you, my parents pushed college, and I saw college as this, this savior. I was going to take all the problems away. It was going to set me up for life. But we all believed a lie. I know I'm not the only person. I believe that lie.
What happens when you're underneath all of that debt? You have to work in order to pay it back, because they most certainly will mess up your credit. And if you don't know, your credit is pretty much king when you don't have a lot of money. Now, people that have a ton of money, they can operate with a piss poor credit score because they can just pay cash for everything. Their name is their credit. But for us regular schmegular everyday people, our credit score really determines a lot. Being able to rent, being able to buy, you have to have a decent credit score because everyone's checking your credit score. Hell, there are even jobs that want to check your credit before they hire you. We get sucked into this at a very young age. We're told this is the way to financial freedom. This is the way to adulting the right way. But really, it's just turning you into an indentured servant where you have to work in order to pay back those loans. But then the job market, especially with AI taking over everything and they're shipping even more jobs overseas to places like India, they'll tell you, hey, we're transitioning a lot of these jobs into AI systems. We'll use AI systems, but really what they're doing is they're hiring a lot of Indians from overseas because they'll pay them even less. These companies need to start being fined when they hire people that aren't American, and it is an American company operating in America, but I digress. This high school to college pipeline to being brokety broke as an adult pipeline, it really does have to be studied because the way they've gaslit us about college is disgusting.
Real freedom is not just chasing money. Real freedom is the opportunity to wake up when you want to wake up. To eat breakfast when you want to be able to go see your nephew on any day that you desire. being told when to go to lunch, being told what time to arrive, what time to leave, being overworked and underpaid. It's no life at all. I'm not necessarily complaining about the job, guys. We've got a bigger problem. This is our only trip to Earth. And instead of living, we are surviving.
They get us in so many different ways. First, with the idea that you won't be able to amount to anything if you don't go to college, but then also they try to get you with FOMO, that fear of missing out. Oh yeah, you have to experience college, but you have to live in the dorm and you have to go through all of these different experiences. You have to find yourself. They convinced an entire generation that in order to find yourself, you need to go to college to do that, even though you can find yourself in high school. Hell, you can find yourself working a job, saving up your money to buy a car, or just saving up in general and working your way up, or learning a trade. You can find yourself at any point in time. You don't have to go to college to do that. Everything on the campus is just so inflated. So it's not even just that you go into debt to get room and board and to pay for the classes, but also you go into debt with buying your books. You go into debt with buying any other thing that you need for the class. You go into debt even just buying food on the campus because the prices are so inflated for everything. Something that would cost you $1.50, which in this day and age, nothing's really $1.50 anymore. But back in the day, you would buy something for $1.50 on the college campus. They're charging you $3, double the price. And you're wondering, where the hell is this money going? It's mind-boggling to me how this has been allowed to go on for so long. I'm not speaking from a I'm better than you hoes perspective. I fell into the college trap too. Now, granted, I did 2 years of community college, which saved a lot of money, but I still went into debt. I'm still in student loan debt, and I've been out of college for almost 10 years. I fell into that college trap as well. But I'm here to tell you, you do not need to go to college to be successful. There are so many trade schools that you can go to for a fraction of the price that you would pay to go to these universities. Not only that, there are some fields where you can be self-taught and thrive. For instance, Justin, he's a software engineer. He taught himself how to engineer software. This man created an entire career for himself because when he was a child, he started tinkering around with software and he learned how to manipulate it and create games and develop apps. And now he's able to make a really good living off of his skill set that he cultivated himself. The internet has been the great equalizer. Because with the internet, we can learn how to do so many different things. That's why when people say, I don't know what to do, I can't figure out how to do that's because you are limiting yourself. With the age of technology, information is damn near free. You can go to your local library, and as long as you have a library card, you can use their internet to find other options. Now, I'm not talking about those little weirdo apps like Free Cash where they try to convince you hey, you can make a bunch of money playing games. Whole time, you only make money if you spend money on those apps. But if you have no money to spend on those apps, and even if you have the money to spend on those apps, sometimes buying into the games doesn't even pan out because you spend it all before you can even reach the level to get the payout. But that's for another video. We're going to do a deep dive into that in another video, but let's get back to college. When it comes to educating yourself, you have so many options to figure things out for yourself. It's just people are lazy. I'm sorry. I hate to be the one to say it, but people are lazy. Where there is a will, there is a way. And I'll give you an example. When I really wanted my YouTube to take off, I put in that work on my channel. How can I develop my own style, develop my own niche for myself? What can I do to make my channel better? It took a lot of work, but it was worth it. And I see that my channel continues to grow because I'm continuing to educate myself and become better and better and better with each upload. Where there is a will, there is a way. But if you have no will, then the path to success will never reveal itself to you. College is an entire scam. They get you to incur all this debt. and then they offer you BS entry-level jobs that pay you very little, damn near minimum wage. It's all to keep the American people in a constant state of survival. Because when you are in survival mode, you're not thinking about all the other things going on in the world. You're not thinking about the Epstein list. You're not thinking about these crooked politicians. You're just trying to go to work, go home, pay a bill, go to work, go home, pay a bill, go to work, go home, pay a bill. And you have no time to actually work on building financial freedom. You have no time to actually work on holding your politicians and these major corporations accountable for the countless crimes that they've committed against us. There's no time, there's no energy, there's nothing to spare because all of your energy is being directed towards trying to pay off those loans and let you have some credit card debt along with it or some other type of debt. We need to stop force feeding this idea of going to college to the younger people because let's be so for real here, most of the degrees that people go to college for ain't worth a damn. It's not. And all it's going to do is put you in a perpetual state of slavery where you're working for somebody else and you're not able to do for self, which is truly sad because I feel her. I absolutely feel her on what she's saying about wanting to be able to get up when you want to, wanting to be able to spend time with your loved ones. It's true. We only have this one life to live. But if we make piss poor decisions and we set ourselves up to fail, then that life is going to fly past us with that go to work, go home, go to work, go home, go to work, go home cycle. But y'all, I am curious to hear you guys' thoughts down below. How do you feel about this whole video? Were you like me and this lady and got sucked into the scam that is college, being college educated? Or do you disagree with me where it's like, no, we should all go to college and give our monies and lives over to these major corporations and institutions and be debt slaves for the rest of our lives? I am curious to hear you guys' thoughts down below. If you like the video. The more you interact with it, the more it gets pushed down to the algorithm. Also, hype the video if that function is available. If you're feeling a little extra generous, the link is in the description to buy your girl a coffee. Thank you guys so much, and I will see y'all with the next one. Deuces.